Are you sitting there wondering if it's time to walk away from a relationship with a dismissive avoidant attachment style, but you're just not sure if it's the right thing or if they're going to come around or if things can change? In today's video, I'm going to break this down for you so it is so simple and so easy to finally make a clear decision based on following 4 major steps. And this will give you all of the clarity and all the certainty you need, and it will also allow you to make peace with whatever the outcome is. Number 1, in order to decide, you have to set a deadline first. What I mean by a deadline is a period of time that you are going to commit to doing everything you can to try to make the relationship work, including working on yourself in the process, asking for your needs, communicating your boundaries, calling out their behavior, and asking for accountability in healthy ways. We're going to get into all that part, but you set a deadline first, a step 1, and that is going to be the amount of time you're going to invest in doing everything you can to see if the needle moves. And you're going to analyze how to do things differently, what that would look like. I'm going to walk you through those next steps, but this will allow you to, at the end of this deadline, decide whether or not this person has changed at all, has healed, has grown, has done the work with you. And if they haven't, you're going to know so clearly that it's time to walk away, and you're going to be able to do so guilt and regret free because you tried everything first. But if you set a deadline and then the needle does move and there's all this growth because you're working on different things together and you're showing up differently and that's inspiring them to do the same, well, now you have a totally different outcome. So you position yourself for a win-win by doing this. That's step 1. Now, a quick note here is that deadline should be relative to the amount of investment you have in the relationship. For example, if you're in a 30-year marriage with somebody, that deadline is obviously going to look a little bit differently than if you're in a 3-month relationship with somebody and just starting to get to know them. So keep that deadline as something that you personally choose. There's not like a specific or perfect amount of time for everybody. It has to be a time where you know that you're going to have enough room to really try to grow and heal and do the work with somebody. And it also has to be something where if you go beyond that deadline, you know that if things don't change, you're just betraying yourself by staying. Okay, so take a moment and think about that. Second step, within that deadline, here's what you're going to do. You are going to look at the 3 biggest pain points in your relationship currently, and you're going to look to work through them. If it's with an avoidant, probably the first big pain point is that there's an absence of communicating through problems. This is a very common theme that we'll often see, that you don't know how to communicate through problems. So improving communication would be a really good thing to practice. Being more regulated is another really good thing to practice in there. Going into conflicts and communication, being more regulated, expressing your needs, expressing your boundaries. Those are really important things as well. So look at what you are going to do in that deadline of period of time that's going to work you out of this ongoing hamster wheel of things just not working. Sometimes when things are not working, it's extremely important that we have the ability as human beings to zoom out of things not working, actually assess what is not working, and try different things to create different outcomes. It's a really important life skill to practice that. So this is one of those things. Obviously, if you're here watching this video, you're probably struggling in the relationship, and you're probably struggling with those crucial things, communication, or feeling like your needs are met, for consistency, for clarity, sometimes reassurance or validation from this person, sometimes for the person to be present and making an effort in the relationship. Decide what those things are and request those things from the relationship. Say that you would like these things, communicate them in healthy ways. So working on communication, working on needs specifically being met in the relationship, and working on probably being more regulated in this relationship, because a lot of people who end up dating avoidance sometimes have a hard time regulating themselves outside of the person they're in a relationship with. And they either end up being so dysregulated when trying to communicate to an avoidant that it falls on deaf ears, whatever they're trying to say, or they end up being so anxious and scared of losing this person that they're not actually communicating their truth. And then their needs don't get met, and then they feel frustrated. So I want you to really take a look here and see, okay? Now, our third really important point is within this deadline period of time, okay, before I get to the very last bonus point, within this deadline period of time, you need to be vetting this person. You need to decide what it would look like for you to feel satisfied in the relationship, and you need to see an active moving of the needle towards that outcome, okay? So I want you to ask yourself, what would growth look like in this relationship that would make me feel satisfied? Would it be that we feel more emotionally connected? Would it be that this person's more consistent? We see each other more consistently. They're more vulnerable. Get really specific, okay? Maybe it's we see each other twice a week. We talk on the phone for 15 minutes every day. We are openly talking about our future together. Get really, really specific. And the reason I can't tell you that specific thing is that you could be anyone watching this video. You could be in a 30-year marriage, or you could be sitting here today in a 6-month relationship. And so what that progress looks like will be uniquely different. But that's a really important exercise to get to know yourself, right? Like, what do I need to feel fulfilled? What standards would I want to have met to feel like there's growth and fulfillment and things are working? So that's going to be where it's really important. I just wanted to pop in here and let you know we are doing a 7-day free trial to the All Access Membership Pass at PDS, which means you get access to literally everything inside of the school. And this includes the 4 live webinars I do with our students every single week. And on top of that, you get access to all of our different courses. We have over 55 different courses on relationships, communication, boundaries, emotional mastery, guilt and shame, learning your needs, so many different facets that are really important to master our lives and feel really good about our lives going forward. And last but not least, there's a daily community event. We have trained facilitators and coaches who are in there doing that work, showing up to support you on your journey every single day. Also, as a bonus, literally with that 7-day free trial access, you get to keep for free for life as a gift access to our Reparenting Your Inner Child course. A course that helps you dive deep into understanding your deep patterns that you probably acquired in childhood, understand your subconscious wounds and fears, and really move the needle on deep rewiring so that you feel more confident, healed, and more present in all of your relationships. Click the link below while this is still available. Here's the last big piece. If the needle doesn't move, okay, if you don't see growth, if you don't see progress, obviously if you do, there's nothing to be said for point 4. That's amazing, right? You grew, they grew, you healed, they started to heal and grow along with you. I mean, that's the best case scenario. And that's fairly likely if we're really doing things effectively in this relationship. But we have to be seeing that the other person's getting on board. You can't just do this by yourself. It doesn't work with one person only doing the work. The other person doesn't have to do the work in the same way, like read books or watch videos or take courses, but they have to be willing to meet you. So if you're trying to communicate your needs, they have to be willing to hear you and try to meet them. They have to be doing the work like that in the very least with you. If they don't, I want you to ask yourself, what is the biggest fear that I have that keeps me here? What do I make it mean, or what am I afraid will happen if I do choose to walk away from this relationship? And this is showing you deeply something about yourself that's usually buried: the fear of abandonment, the fear of betrayal, the fear of not being good enough, the fear of being alone. And that fear sometimes chains you to the wrong relationship, even when you know it's wrong. So what you have to do is feed into the opposite of that fear. So if you're afraid of being abandoned, stop abandoning yourself, right? If you're afraid of being alone, learn to enjoy your own company. You want to feed into the opposite of that fear as a starting point, very consistently and repeatedly across time. And when you do, you'll finally get into a place where you're okay to walk away. Now, hopefully that's not even on the radar or a need or necessity when you do the work. But if the person's not doing the work with you, then it will be. And that's okay. You'll be better off for it, having known that that's the truth. Either way, it's a win-win, because you walk away from something you know for certain is the wrong thing, or you build and grow with somebody in the right thing. I hope this helps and gives you a lot more certainty and peace of mind. If you enjoyed today's video, please subscribe to this channel so you don't miss any of the daily videos or gifts or giveaways I put out here. And please like this video, share it with anybody that you think might benefit, and I'll see you next time.